Hello, everyone. My guest today is Casey Sullivan. He is the creator of a company called Bookafy.com. Casey, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, it's pronounced Bookafy, though.
Well, good. Yeah, it's funny. I just asked you right before we started. By the way, why not go buy that domain? Like Bookafy is the domain you have, correct?
Right.
You need to go get like IFY and EFY and all the variations.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do you have those?
No, they're owned by some kind of random other software that's not quite related. But yeah, I've thought about it. But.
Got it. That's a bummer. Okay, well, enough about them. Tell me about you. What do you do and how do you make money?
Yeah, cool. So we're a pure B2B SaaS company. Bookafy is an online appointment scheduling tool. We originally created it for our own company use, and then we began to share with our friends, and now we're serving businesses all over the world, from startups to universities, marketers, churches, coaches, people doing podcasts. No pressure. Yes, we have a ton of SMB folks using it, a lot of individuals from companies of all sizes, and then a handful of enterprise clients. So we're working our way up the food chain.
I was going to say, so most people start SMB, then kind of go up. What would you say the average customer pays you per month right now?
It's $22.
Okay. You knew that very quickly. So that's an average.
I watch your show, so I kind of have an idea of what you might ask.
Oh, that's good. Do you like it? Are you enjoying the show?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's
good. Okay. And then, so put this on a timeline. $22 is kind of an average. When do you launch the company?
2015.
And where were you kind of in your life at that point? Did you just like quit corporate or, what happened?
No, I was running another company. And so I started using this software for our own company. And then as this grew, it seemed to be more of an opportunity. And so we took this on full time.
That's great. And so that was 2015. So I guess 3 years later today, how many customers have you scaled to?
We have just over 11,000 between paying and free customers.
Okay. And how many just paying?
About a third of that.
About a third. Okay, good. So call it about 3,300, something like that.
Yeah, closer to 4 probably, yeah.
Okay. And what's the number one thing that gets someone to move from one of the 11,000 like free into like an actual paid plan? What's like the activation metric you have to get them to hit?
Yeah, so the main difference between free and the pro plan is the different integrations we use. So pro, you add the ability to take payments, to do classes and group events, to have teams, so more than one user. And then getting text message reminders and syncing to all your personal calendars and all that stuff. So the basic free plan doesn't include the pro features. And then we have one plan above that, which is our enterprise plan.
Got it. So it sounds like a lot of other scheduling tools, they'll kind of hyper focus on one area, like scheduling tools for salespeople, or Booker was like salons and gets wrapped up by MindBody, right? It sounds like you're kind of playing all over the spectrum.
We are, yeah.
So, I mean, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is it helpful for you or not?
From a marketing standpoint, it's actually a pretty big challenge. From an opportunity standpoint, I think it's great. I mean, we can serve most industries really, really well. So I would say we do like 95% of what the very linear focused companies do for each industry. So we're we have a bigger opportunity, so we can serve people from every industry. But yeah, from a marketing standpoint, it's challenging because if somebody comes to your website, you can't say have a great message for a ton of different industries. But
yeah,
that's
no, it is interesting, and the space is obviously fragmented, but it sounds like you've got good scale. I think you said about 4,000 customers, $22 ARPU. That puts you right at that $1 million run rate. Is that basically accurate?
Yeah, a little less than that. But yeah.
Okay, and what's growth rate? Where were you a year ago?
We were a lot less, probably less than 50%.
Okay, so less than 40 grand a month in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
What drove most of that growth? Was it, a Capterra deal, AppSumo deal, government organizations signing
it's
up?
A combination of a lot of things. So, most all of our money we've been spending on product development. So as the product has gotten, our 2015 product was pretty, bad in hindsight. And so we've spent just, almost no money in marketing, and almost all of our funds have been on product development. So as the product has gotten better, our logo churn has gone down. Our people are willing to pay more often. I mean, so there's more users per account. So there's a combination of many things that are working, but we're still on almost a zero marketing budget at the moment. So we're kind of relying on people loving the tool enough to give it a try.
Yep. Let me dive into your team first. So what is the current team size today and how many are engineers?
11 and 8.
Okay. Wow. So probably significant, and all in Seattle?
All remote.
Oh, everyone's remote.
So our office is in Seattle. We're all remote. So we have 3 customer service, including myself, and then between project manager, designer, and development team, there's another 8 remote.
Yep. Interesting. How did you find kind of the remote developers? A lot of people struggle with this.
Yeah, it's not easy. So the company I had before, we had remote developers too. So we had on-site one person in Seattle that managed the team. And then, if you have one good person, it's a lot easier to hire other good people. But I think it is a challenge if you go from 0 non-technical people to hiring a team of technical people not in the office. But yeah, so we did it incrementally. And then with those contacts I had from the other projects, we were able to grow our team, and now we have a nice, fully functional remote team.
And I'm going to love you so much more if you say you're still bootstrapped. Are you bootstrapped or have you raised?
We are bootstrapped.
Yes, yeah. I love that. That's great.
I know you love the bootstrap. So
yeah, well, everyone. I just feel like TechCrunch and these people, they sell the wrong message, right? Like I would much prefer to get the story from the CEO doing $1 million a year in revenue, bootstrapped, and paying himself like a $250,000 check than I would like the guy that's like, $1 billion company with a 3x liquidation preference, ratchet clauses, and a board that he hates or she hates.
Right. And zero revenue. Yeah.
What'd you say?
And no revenue.
Yeah, and pre-revenue.
Yeah. So pre-revenue with $1 billion valuation. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Tell me about churn. So what is your churn today?
Yeah, so we're about 1.5 per month.
Logo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what is that on a revenue basis? Do you know?
Well, on a revenue basis, it's tough because we lose about 1.5% of our customers per month, but we also, the revenue per customer increases per month because we're getting a combination of bigger clients, and then also the existing clients are going from, say, 1 user to 2 users, or 6 to 7, or 80 to 100 or whatever. And and then they're also upgrading. So we'll have customers that are going from our pro plan at $7 per user to enterprise at 11. So it's actually, I tried to research that before and I had a tough time.
Yeah, it's a tricky metric. The reason it gets asked is because it's especially true in companies that have a huge delta between what different customers are paying. And basically what it tries to capture, logo or revenue churn, it tries to capture that someone paying you way more, them churning is like a way bigger impact than a much smaller customer churning. And that's why they look at revenue churn instead of logo count churn.
I see. Yeah. I don't have a great number for you. And we don't have a ton of big clients. So most of our clients are either individuals paying us $7 or teams that are like, say, 10 to 15 people.
Yep.
And we have a few clients that are, much bigger, but we haven't actually lost any of those clients because it just hasn't happened. And we also haven't had them for a really long time. So, I mean, we've just kind of been ramping up into the bigger client space. And so we have zero churn with bigger clients. And then, individuals tend to be the majority of our churn, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm going to go really in the weeds here for a second. A lot of people ask me about, are G2 Crowd and Capterra worth it? I happen to notice you are on Capterra, and it is a significant, according to SimilarWeb, it does drive you significant traffic. And I do see the visit website button next to your listing, which means you're paying for something on there. Is it an effective channel for you?
Yeah, it is. It has been the best for us. And partly because we don't have a marketing team per se. So we've been doing, like I mentioned before, we're spending almost all of our time on product development, not on sales and marketing. And so when we've done sales and marketing through other channels, I've just had a lot of pain. Like, going through, say, Facebook, we'd get customers who are really interested in the product and they're like, oh, that's awesome. And then they just they would set up, but then never actually use the product or eventually, of course, pay. And so our percentage of people going from using to paying was really low, where I think when we're getting direct clicks from, say, Google or from Capterra, they're already expressing a need for a software like this, and then they're coming to us, and we actually are, we actually do pretty well with that customer, because they're looking for a product. We're super versatile. It's a really pretty product, and so we actually do pretty well with those customers, especially when they've looked at a bunch of customers.
So do you know off the top of your head how many clicks is the right number? How many clicks from Capterra you get per month?
I do. So we have a really, really low budget. So as I mentioned, we spend almost nothing on marketing. So our budget, the only money we spend on marketing at the moment is through Capterra, and we spend less than $500 per month.
Okay.
$500, and we primarily use it for, metric tracking and feedback, and kind of building our sort of long-term scaling plan. But we haven't actually really, put the pedal to the metal.
And so how many clicks will you get from that?
What's that?
How many clicks will you get for the 500 spend?
We spend less than $1 per click.
Okay, $1 per. And then how many clicks do you need typically to convert a customer from Capterra? Do you know?
Yeah, so it's about, our conversion from somebody coming to our site to actually signing up for our product is just under 20% at Capterra.
Actually signing up for free, or actually signing up with paid?
Signing up in general. And then of that, about 35% will become a paid client.
I see. Okay, so if Capterra gives you 100 clicks, what you're saying is because there's intent
20.
there, 20 will sign up for free and paid. And then of that, call it...
like around 7-ish will become a paid customer.
That's actually a pretty healthy channel, actually.
It's actually really good, yeah.
So why not double your spend there?
We just haven't, honestly, I've been more focused. Like we have so much we're doing on a product side, and that I just feel like I want to make it, and this is probably not, I know there's a blind spot here, but I'm so interested in making the product better that I haven't really focused on the sales side of it.
Yeah.
And
are you a developer? Do you code?
I don't.
Okay. So you're like speccing stuff out and passing it to the dev team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
So we're doing a huge, we did a big launch about 2 weeks ago with a ton of integrations we've been working on. We're doing another big launch tomorrow with a whole new site, whole new user interface design so what we use Capterra for in large part is we track what they're doing, how they're interacting, do a lot of split testing with different language. And the idea is that if we can refine that and use their feedback to refine our product, that we can have more success when we actually put some fuel in the tank. So, so that's the idea.
Are you doing anything? I see you have 107 reviews. People always struggle how to get reviews on these things. Did you like send an email to your users and tell them to go leave a review, or like how do you drive reviews?
No, we don't. Yeah, we've been approached by them, of course, a million times to give them our customer list and they'll go get reviews. But I've never done that. I feel like what we want the most is for our customers to use our product, not to give us a review. So I didn't want to trip up the use of the product and the experience of using it with my desire to get them to give us a review. So we haven't done anything from that standpoint, but it's not unusual if someone's like, oh my gosh, this is going great. Can I leave a review somewhere? Then I'll fire back, or one of our people will fire back with a link.
Got
we
it.
Typically send a G2 Crowd or to Capterra, one of those. And they all seem to end up on the same spot, like GetApp and all those. They all mix up.
You get a lot of traffic from AppSumo, which means you must have run an AppSumo deal at some point. A lot of people, sometimes it works and sometimes it's a huge backfire because you have a bunch of people that paid one time for life and they just clog your support channels. How did it work for you? Did it work well?
Yeah, it was great. I would compare it to, some of the other things we've done. Like it actually, I would say it was an overall success. Like we got a lot of good customers. We did a really limited project with them. So we did one user per account. So we have a lot of AppSumo people that have added more accounts. We also have had, we've also had a lot of them refer us to other people. So it's actually been a pretty good channel for us. But if no one ever upgraded and no one ever referred us and our product wasn't very good, so somebody just paid for it and then never shared it with their friends and then it would probably be a bummer. But I think we're on the the flip side of that, we're actually getting pretty good feedback. Good use cases to share, and I think it was a good project for us.
That's good. So look, it sounds like only direct paid spend. You're spending $500 to get 7 new customers, so that's about $70 CAC on those accounts, and they're paying $22 a month on average. So payback there is what, like 3-4 months on average?
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, and that's just, again, that's only, a very small $500 spend per month, which is great. Is a lot of your growth, the organic growth, coming from, do you have like a powered by, anywhere on these?
We do. So we actually get a lot of customers through that. So we get about between like 10 and 30 customers per day that will sign up for our product.
Sorry, just to be clear, I want to make sure we talk about customers and trials the right way. That's 30 new trials or actual paid customers?
Trials.
Okay, trials. Got it.
Yeah. So we get between like say 10 and 30. It averages probably closer to 20 per day of new trials, and a lot of those are coming from a combination of like some we get from Capterra, some we get from direct from Google, and a bunch we get from customers, just our customers using our product and liking it and liking the experience and signing up.
That's helpful though, so we can understand your velocity. Just to be clear, every day your the entire machine produces 30 new trials from these different channels.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. And then you obviously work the system
with an average spending budget of like $15 per day.
That's great.
Yeah, so like nothing. Yeah.
What do you know? Last question here before we wrap up. What do you know you have to get a new customer to do in the first like 72 hours to make them sticky or greater, likelihood that they sign up for a paid account?
Well, we haven't really. I don't think I've really got I really know exactly what the answer to that question is. But I mean, I'll tell you what we've tried to do. So we've gone through the sign up process and really tried to get them to sync with their personal calendar right up front. So we went from having that be a background activity to being like the first thing they do. And so by the time they get to their calendar page, they've already synced their Exchange calendar, their Google Calendar, or Outlook, or Office 365. So that's been a big factor for us. And then I think our team reaching out and trying to help people get through the final setup has actually been super helpful too. So the more people that we talk to, the more likely they are going to stay on and become a paying customer.
Yep. Any plans to sell the company in the near future?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have plans. We've been approached a couple of times. We were approached in pretty good talks like a couple months ago, but we just didn't pull the trigger on it and felt like there's a more opportunity. But and frankly, the numbers just didn't work out. But I think where we're going with the product, and I think there is a big opportunity if we find a strategic partner, and I think a bigger ecosystem would actually be good for Bookafy.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a great product. Everyone's always going to need appointments to be scheduled, so it's it's a lifetime product. Very good. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Love is a Killer App.
Love is a
Killer. And I also really like the book by Jason Fried. His
Rework.
That's always been a favorite.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I actually do really like Jason from Basecamp, and I think he would be on my list for sure.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building the company besides your own?
Online tool. So we use a lot of Zapier, and we use Jira, and we use Stripe, and all those are great for automating. But I actually use a tool called Snagit a massive amount to give feedback to my team. It's like a screen capture thing on steroids. So I think that's the product I use the very most in running the business.
Interesting.
Strangely.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8.
That's
I
good.
sleep from about 10 to 6 every day.
That's good. And it looks like I see dad posters behind you and makes like soccer pictures. How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids from 4, 7, 10, and 11.
4. So married?
Yeah, 17 years.
Holy mackerel. Amazing. Married, 4 kids. And how old are you?
I'm going to be 40 in December.
Congrats. That's exciting. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew, Casey?
Yeah, I thought about that question. So I think I would, when I was 20, I was mostly focused on, growing revenue. So building businesses and flipping houses and doing all this stuff to grow revenue. I think in hindsight, I would have told myself to slow down and focus on the relationships, and the money is sort of, whether you have a big house or small house or like any, rich or poor, it's the relationships I think that I would have told myself to focus on more. So.
Slow down, build the relationships. Again, launched the company back in 2015. Today, 11 people, all remote around the world, 4,000 paying customers, about $1 million run rate. Let's call it doubling year over year. Bootstrapped, which I love, based up, again, HQ in Seattle, but spread all over the place. 1.5% logo turn per month, so healthy economics from Casey. Casey, pronounce the company for me again.
Bookafy.
See, that's how you make sure you don't get it wrong. You have the CEO pronounce it. Thanks so much for taking us to the top.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Take care.